my fields. I've got 2 fields the other side of these trees where I grow wheat. Sometimes grow barley and oats as well. But in this part of Wales we grow an awful lot of wheat, more than other parts. Now what can I make out of wheat?
Bread.
Bread, fantastic. What else? Flour, good. If I got flour, then I can make bread.
Oat.
I can make, well, from the oats, I can make a porridge. From the wheat, I can make a porridge. I can make biscuits, I can make cakes, I can make beer for the teachers. You're a bit too young for that yet. For children at your age would have drunk beer at this time. But it wouldn't be the beer that you're drinking now. It's got hardly any alcohol in it. And that's only there because the water sometimes at this time can be quite dirty. There's lots of bugs in water sometimes. So if you're drinking water, you can get ill. Not so much in your time because you've got taps and things which would give you fresh running water, but at this time we don't have taps. Also, not from the grain that we get all our food and our drink from, but from the straw that grain grows on, you can make all our roofs. So you can see all the steam and all the smoke coming from these. We just had a big downpour of rain and now it's all coming off. It looks quite nice. But that roof, make sure that we keep all the wind and all the rain out. So it's a very, very important crop. So I'll use this to cut the wheat down and bring all the grain here so I can turn them into food, into roofs and animal feed as well. But this is also really useful for the plants that grow around here. We've got lots of plants growing around here. Some of these plants are really useful for food because they taste quite nice. Others are very, very poisonous, while others I can turn into bright pinks, bright reds, blacks, browns, oranges, greens, lots of different colours. So I can use some of these plants to dye my clothes. They're really, really quite handy. And blue as well. Have you ever seen warriors wearing blue? Painting blue on their faces? Do you know what that paint is called?
Daub.
No, it's not daub, although it's like the consistency of daub, but it's not made out of, you wouldn't want daub on your face, I don't think. This stuff is called woad. Have you heard of woad? This woad is from the woad plant, and it's the only way we can get blue at this time. And it comes from a plant that lives in our forest. So we take the leaves off. If we wanted to turn it into a paint, we'd mash it up a little bit with animal fat, and then we'd mix it with some water. Some people even mix it with pea. Fresh pea, mix it all up and then they paint it onto their faces. That's how we make our paint. If you wanted blue clothes, then you put those woad leaves into a big cauldron with pea that's at least 3 weeks old, so it really, really stinks. And then a little bit of water as well. And then you put your white wool into that cauldron with all the leaves, and within a couple of days maybe all the blue from those leaves will come into the white wool, and then you'll have blue clothes. It's the only way we can make blue. There's thousands of other ways of making every other colour, but blue is really quite difficult. So there's a lot of important things around here, including medicines that I can use to heal myself, or if I had a fever, to get rid of them. So the wilderness around here is pretty much like our shop, well, like your shops. We can get all our food, all our medicines, and the colours for our clothes out of it as well. So it's a really, really useful place. So this has a lot of uses. I also have this around my neck. Take it off. Yeah. There we are. What do you reckon this is? Right. Closest to the... Say it again?
A torque.
A torque. Fantastic. Now this torques are very, very important pieces of jewellery. They can say an awful lot about people. And so can the clothes that people wear. Now, my clothes, not really that bright. I've been working a lot, so my clothes are quite dirty. But I don't have that much colour. You're much, much brighter. Your school uniforms are much, much brighter than that, and the coats that you're wearing as well. So that might say something about you. If my chieftain was here today, he might be able to say that you were equal to him because you've got really nice, bright, colourful clothes. You've got pure white shirts, you've got bright red tops, patterns, bright pinks and oranges and purples, all these colours. So, the clothes that you wear can mean that you're quite wealthy if you've got really bright, colourful clothes. If you've got dull coloured clothes like me, then it might mean you're not so wealthy perhaps. Talk around your neck. If you're a chieftain, what's your name? Connor. There you go. Picked one with a good Celtic name there. Fantastic. Connor was your chieftain. He'd have bright, colourful clothes on. He's got a white red top on, so that's quite good. He'll also have a torque around his neck. It won't look like this though. Be much thicker. Be made out of gold as well, not a thin piece of iron like this. It'll have a lot more decoration on it and a lot more pattern on it as well. So he's pretty much wearing as well. So if I'd never seen Connor before, I could tell by the colour of his clothes he was wealthy, and the talk around his neck will say that he's a very important person because it's very chunky, it's made out of gold, and there's a lot more pattern. You can say an awful lot by looking at an iron age. This one says, I'm not really wealthy, but I am a warrior. So when I was about your age, I started training to become a warrior, and someone taught me for years and years to fight. And this means then that I can defend this village, or I can go into a battle and fight for my entire tribe. So it doesn't show that I'm wealthy though. There's not enough metal around my neck. So iron is a very important thing. It does an awful lot of things for us. It makes our jewellery, tools and weapons. Where does iron come from?
Iron ore.
Iron ore, fantastic. Now then, I usually keep a little piece with me here so I can show you what it looks like. There it is. Oh, the two pieces. There we are. This is iron ore. Now normally it's closer to the colour of your school uniform, but these have been handled so much that they've gone a bit grey. And the reddy pinkish part, you hold that so you can pass that around. Everybody has a look at it. It'll pass back so you don't have to punch it. That iron ore that you're going to handle is the most important stone in the world, because without that stone we won't have our iron tools or anything at all. So you have to go out into the woods, up to the hills and the mountains and collect all that iron ore. Children younger than yourself, from the age of 5, maybe 8, will go up into the woods and collect all this iron ore from the ground. We then bring it back to the village, and you can see that thing over there. It looks a bit like a tree stump made out of mud. Got a little hole on the bottom. Oh, you'll have a closer look later on anyway. That's a furnace. We fill that full of charcoal, and we fill it full of that red stone, and we heat it up until all that stone starts to melt. As soon as that stone starts to melt, all the iron trickles out of it, and the blacksmith then will collect it and then turn it into any shape we want. So it's a very useful stone. As that's being passed around, does anyone know what came before the Iron Age? Bronze Age, fantastic. Does anyone know what bronze is made? What bronze is made out of? Can anyone guess? Made out of copper and one other metal. Brilliant.
Is it iron?
Not iron. We haven't figured out how to make iron yet. Not steel. It's really shiny. It looks like silver, but it isn't silver.
Is it tin?
Tin. Brilliant. So we mix tin and we mix copper together. Now then, the only problem is, do you come from South Wales? Yeah. If you were born 2,000 years ago, you'd be in the Iron Age. We'd all be called Siluri. Can you say Siluri?
Siluri.
It's the name of our tribe. It's the one that we all belong to if you lived in South Wales 2,000 years ago. But if we go back to the Bronze Age, over 3,000 years ago, we've got an awful lot of trouble. We don't have tin and we don't have copper. Or not enough anyway. So we'd have to be friendly with other people. We'd have to be friendly with other tribes. We'd have to go to the north. So we'd have to split into two groups. One group would have to go up to the north and trade with a tribe there that has a lot of copper, because the copper comes from this green stone